to thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules to come and talk about this important piece of information and initiative that we have going with retention. This is a co-sponsored event with Faculty Senate, so we're going to start with Faculty Senate, and then we are going to start the forum. Do you need to...
We'll go ahead and do this. You're here for this business. We'll deal with Faculty Senate at 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Next one.
Okay. So anyway, we want to thank Faculty Senate for co-sponsoring the event with us. CORE is the Committee on Retention Efforts, and we're going to talk a little bit about that once we get started, but I would like to first ask President Perry if he'd like to say a few words.
I would. Thank you very much. Oh, wow.
Hey, we're high-tech here.
American Idol, here we go.
It's for the podcast.
Okay.
It's for the podcast.
All right. Well, I want to thank everyone for being here today. I'm very gratified by the attendance. Retention is an important issue for all universities. I'm glad we are embarking on this effort to really look at retention in a data-driven way. Certainly when I speak with alumni, I get a lot of great stories about their experience here at Eastern and how a faculty member or a staff member made a huge difference in their completing college and in their life. And that's a defining characteristic of EIU, that kind of personal relationship that gets developed, and it makes the big difference. I mean, one alum who said he had messed up on an exam. This is back when you still had landline phones in the dorms. And the professor calls him and says, "No, you come talk to me." So he did, made a big difference in that person. And he says, I can give his name is Tim McCullum. You know, he's a graduate. He's just retiring from the schools this year. He helps teachers all over the country through an NSF grant. And that professor and that call makes a difference. I've talked to alums, and I said, you know, what was the important thing for you at Eastern? And one person said to me, well, you know, I was a student worker there, and I learned great life lessons about punctuality and professional behavior and all these kind of things. So it happens in many different ways. Clearly, it's an academic issue, but it's a personal relationship issue, too. So I am very pleased to have this effort going on. I want to thank everyone who's been a part of it today. I want to thank all of you for your participation. I want to thank the provost for his initiative and effort in moving this along. The story I tell to prospective students, and I just did that this morning with some of these students who are here for the engineering and science competition. They were in the food court, so I stopped and talked to their coach and these two students. I said, this is the place where you get personal attention. This is the place where you got great faculty and staff concerned about success for the students in their best interest. And that's the story we have to continue to not only tell, but live. And these efforts are going to be important for that. So thank you very much for being here. I'm going to get back to Old Main and do some things that need doing. We're going to be in Springfield tomorrow making the case for Eastern. So thanks again, and I'll give it back now to Carl.
Thank you, President.
Thank you.
And now we're going to hear a few words from our provost, Blair Lord.
Thank you, Carla. I don't know how many words of welcome you need to hear. You got the president, now you got the provost. One of my job descriptions is keep it succinct. I, too, want to thank Carla and Kimberly and the Faculty Senate for jumping in and co-sponsoring this. This is probably the largest turnout for such a forum that I can remember in the years I've been here. Someone will say I'm wrong, but it's certainly one of the largest turnouts, so thank you all for coming. I know that many of you think the last couple of years I've probably been a one-trick pony, talking in the academic affairs arena as focusing on integrative learning as a way to realize the goal of being the best at integrating the academic and personal development of students. This year, at least some of you, certainly the deans who've heard me with regularity, have heard me start to talk about a couple of other themes, and they are the two R's, if you will, recruitment and retention. One starts to have major themes at some risk, because if you have too many of them, you have none. You have to keep the list very finite, otherwise people can't figure out what they need to be spending their time on. But there's no doubt that while integrative learning is still a pinnacle, centerpiece of the academic agenda, helps us talk about the quality of our programs, that we also need to be paying particular attention to recruitment and retention. Retention is important because it's important for our students to succeed while they're here getting their education. They come here hoping to get a degree, and if we don't retain them, they can't achieve that goal. At the institutional level, it's also important to think about retention because we need students. We attract students, we try to get students, we try to help them accomplish their educational objectives, and we need them because Eastern without students isn't a whole lot of an institution anymore. Retention then becomes important for our students, and it becomes important for us as an institution. And for both of those reasons, I've been talking about the essential need for us to pay attention to retention. And it was something we've talked about for a long time. But as the challenges in the world around us become ever greater to attracting and retaining students, we have to put a special focus on that. And so I'm pleased to see everyone here today to talk about that. Retention, as the President alluded to, happens with students in all of their various interactions around campus. And we can't always anticipate what the key interaction will be in allowing them to say, this is a place I want to come and this is a place I want to stay. So it becomes sort of the job of everybody to help focus on retaining the students that we have attracted, helping them find ways to stay connected to Eastern and to achieve their goals. So I want to thank again Carla, Kimberly, and the Faculty Senate for co-sponsoring this, and all of you for being here. Thanks so much.
We just wanted to hit really quickly on what we hope to accomplish this afternoon. We want to provide some information, but then what's most important for us this afternoon is to have a dialogue and a discussion and to generate some ideas amongst us.
Okay, so what is CORE? The Committee on Retention Efforts is a joint committee from Student Affairs and Academic Affairs folks, and we have gotten together for the past few years, spent some time looking at retention data, graduation rates, why do students leave, why do students stay, and we have tried to focus on things that are going to make our students more successful and become graduates and then happy alums. And so we're going to share some of that data with you. A couple of years ago, the President set an aspirational goal that by the year 2013, our retention, our freshman to sophomore retention rate would be at 85%. I say aspirational because we're not quite there yet. We're going to give you those rates in a few minutes, and one of the things that we want to do today in our discussion is talk about ways in which we can all work together to get to that 85%. What can we all do to get there?
You'll see right now we are a traditional selectivity as our students are above the top 50%, the majority, and then in an 18 to 24 for that ACT composite. So we sit right there. You'll see above us the selectivity and the highly selective are the two categories that are above us. And then you're going to see the benchmark rates. So for our category, 71.5 for a first year retention rate, and then 43.7. You'll notice that the next one, the selective above us, their benchmark is 81.6. So we are aiming to be not only a category higher than our selectivity, but several percentage points beyond that as well.